This was the most brilliant era in Chinese history. Confucius, Mozi, Laozi, Hanfeizi, and Guguzi. All these unprecedented masters were born during this period. At the same time, this was also an era where gods of war emerged in large numbers. More than 140 states, over 1,000 wars. Feudal lords fought and scrambled to be the big boss. Military thought and strategy and tactics during this period were already hundreds of years ahead of the rest of the world. In this video, let's use the historical events recorded in the Zuo Zhuan commentary of Zuo to understand the history of the spring and autumn period in one go. If there are viewpoints that differ from other records, we will primarily explain based on the socially accepted Zuo Zhuan and Shiji records of the grand historian. From 770 BC, when King Ping of Zhou moved east to Luoyi, establishing the Eastern Zhou, to 476 BC, the first year of King Yuan of Zhou, the spring and autumn period, lasted a total of 295 years. Some also believe the spring and autumn period should end with the partition of Jin, or the period when Han, Zhao, and Wei destroyed the Xi clan. During the spring and autumn period, the Zhao royal family's control over various feudal states gradually weakened. Various feudal lords bypassed the Son of Heaven of Zhou and carried out a series of annexation wars. Duke Huan of Qi, Duke Wen of Jin, Duke Xiang of Song, Duke Mu of Qin, and King Zhuang of Chu successively claimed hegemony. History calls them the Five Hegemons of the spring and autumn period. Their influence in various feudal states already surpassed that of the Son of Heaven of Zhou. Some also believe that Duke Xiang of Song and Duke Mu of Qin did not truly dominate the Central Plains, and should be replaced by the later King Helu of Wu and King Goujian of Yue. In 770 BC, King Yu of Zhou's son, Ji Yiju, under the escort of Marquis Wen of Jin and Duke Wu of Zheng, moved the capital to Luoyi, establishing the Eastern Zhou. The states of Jin and Zhong were thus heavily relied upon by the Zhou royal family. After Duke Wu of Zheng died, his son, Duke Zhuang of Zheng, after quelling the rebellion of his younger brother Gongshu Duan, pacified the outside and settled the inside, making Zheng's strength increasingly powerful. But the increasingly arrogant Duke Zhuang of Zheng took the Son of Heaven of Zhong less and less seriously. He actually demanded King Huan of Zhong to exchange princes as hostages to ensure harmony between the two states, treating them as equals. This is the famous Zhaozheng exchange of hostages in history. But a starving camel is still bigger than a horse. At this time, the Son of Heaven of Zhu still had some rallying power. So King Huan of Chu united with several states that had conflicts with Zhong to send troops together to attack Duke Zhuang of Zhong. Relying on the fish-scale formation, Zheng defeated the Son of Heaven's allied forces in the Battle of Shuge. King Huan of Zhou himself was shot by an arrow and injured. This scared Duke Zhuang of Zhong. Fearing a siege from other feudal lords, Duke Zhuang had to hypocritically admit his mistake to King Huan of Zhou. From then on, the dignity of the Son of Heaven of Zhou was completely lost. Duke the Zhou of Zhou, by emphasizing agriculture and commerce, made Zhou the little hegemon among the feudal lords at that time. In 686 BC, civil strife occurred in the state of Qi. Prince Xiaobai, who was in exile, after dodging an arrow shot by Guanzhong, rushed back to Qi first and inherited the throne. History calls him Duke Huan of Qi. The idiom revenge for an arrow shot comes from this. Later, Duke Huan of Qi not only didn't kill Guanzhong, but appointed him as prime minister. After inheriting the throne, the young and aggressive Duke Huan of Qi, seeking revenge for an arrow shot, led an army to invade the state of Lu. However, Duke Zhuang of Lu waited at ease for the fatigued enemy, lured the enemy deep, and defeated them at Changshao. The idiom, first drum courage, second drum decline, third drum exhaustion, comes from this battle. The defeated Duke Huan of Qi had to follow Guanzhong's strategy of respecting the king and repelling barbarians. Externally, he helped other feudal states resist the invasion of Yi and Rong barbarians. Internally, he required feudal states to respect the Son of Heaven again, thereby completing his path to hegemony. Once while going north to aid the state of Yan, the Qi army lost its way in heavy snow. Guanzhong released an old horse, and the Qi army followed the old horse out of the snowy land, eventually defeating the mountain Rong. This is the origin of the idiom, old horse knows the way. Later, Duke Huan of Qi also helped the state of Wei, which had been destroyed by the Red Dye, to restore their state. He led an 8-nation coalition to crusade against Chu, forcing King Qing of Chu to sign the alliance of Shaoling, obeying the leadership of the Zhou dynasty again. Since then, Duke Huan of Qi's hegemony reached its peak, becoming the first hegemon of the spring and autumn period. After Duke Huan of Qi died of illness, having no son designated to succeed, it led to civil strife in Qi. Qi's hegemony thus came to an end. The benevolent and righteous Duke Xiang of Song, entrusted by Duke Huan of Qi before his death, after the civil strife in Qi, twice united various feudal states to lead armies into Qi, supporting Duke Xiao of Qi to succeed. The people of Qi, not knowing the true strength of the allied forces and fearing a siege, had to agree to Duke Xiang of Song's demands. Duke Xiang of Song thus gained fame, becoming the new generation Central Plains hegemon after Duke Huan of Qi. In 638 BC, Song and Chu fought for hegemony over the Central Plains, leading to the Battle of Hongshui. Duke Xiang of Song, sticking to his benevolence and righteousness, refused to attack the Chu army while they were crossing the river. This ultimately led to a disastrous defeat for Song. Duke Xiang of Song also died of illness due to an arrow wound in his thigh. Duke Xiang of Song was able to claim hegemony merely because of his benevolence and righteousness. Therefore, he is also the most controversial one among the five hegemons of spring and autumn. After Duke Xiang of Song died, civil strife also occurred in the veteran power state of Jin. Chong'e, with the help of Duke Mu of Qin, returned to Jin and successfully seized the throne. History calls him Duke Wen of Jin. The states of Qin and Jin thus maintained a strategic partnership. After Duke Wen of Jin ascended the throne, he selected generals and trained troops in Beilu, expanding Jin's military strength to 3 armies. At that time, only the Son of Heaven could possess a force of 6 armies. The increasingly prosperous Jin and Chu, fighting for hegemony over the Central Plains, fought the Battle of Qingpu. Duke Wen of Jin fulfilled the promise of retreating 3 shi, 90 li, made when he was in exile in Chu, ordering the Jin army to retreat, to avoid the Chu army's edge. Zuo of Chu advanced rashly, and was ultimately annihilated by the Jin army. Zuo's Chu army was defeated. Subsequently, Duke Wen of Jin gathered Qi, Song and other states for the alliance of Jin'an, becoming the 3rd hegemon of the spring and autumn period. In 630 BC, Qin and Jin joined forces to attack Shang. At this time, an event occurred that caused a rift in the relationship between Qin and Jin. Shu Jiru, to save the state of Zheng, sought an audience late at night. He explained the pros and cons to Duke Mu of Qin, eventually causing Qin and Zheng to form an alliance. The Qin army withdrew because of this. The strategic partnership between Qin and Jin also ended here. By the time Duke Wen of Jin passed away, Jin's military strength had expanded to 5 armies, and Jin's national strength was also increasingly robust, also harboring intentions to dominate the Central Plains. But Jin's path to the east was blocked by Jin. One wanted to achieve hegemony, the other wanted to maintain hegemony. The relationship between Qin and Jin shifted from strategic cooperation to war rivals. Duke Mu of Qin went east multiple times, winning and losing against Jin, but ultimately failing to completely defeat Jin. Knowing that moving east was hopeless, Duke Mu of Qin had to concentrate his power on developing westward. He used Yu Yu's strategy to kill the king of Rong, causing 12 Shirong tribes to submit to Qin one after another. Since then, Duke Mu of Qin opened up 1,000 li of territory, dominating the Shirong, becoming the 4th hegemon of the spring and autumn period. But some also believe that Duke Mu of Qin did not truly dominate the Central Plains, and cannot be counted as a spring and autumn hegemon. After Duke Mu of Qin and Duke Xiang of Jin passed away successively, Chu, which had failed to achieve hegemony, welcomed a legendary figure. He was King Zhuang of Chu. At the beginning of King Zhuang's reign, Chu had many internal conflicts. He had to adopt a strategy of stillness countering motion. On the surface, he indulged in sensual pleasures and ignored state affairs, but in reality he was observing the situation in secret, waiting for the right moment. Until 611 BC, when a famine broke out in the land and riots occurred in many places, King Zhuang of Chu believed the time for him to take control of the government had come. He personally led the Chu army to quell the rebellion in one fell swoop, and logically began his personal rule. King Zhuang of Chu, who amazed the world with a single feat, subsequently launched a war to besiege Zheng, and in the Battle of Bai, he defeated the Jin army that came to reinforce. Since then, King Zhuang of Chu established his status as the new spring and autumn hegemon, becoming the 5th of the 5 hegemons. After King Zhuang of Chu died of illness, internal strife in Chu continued. Jin, aiming to reclaim hegemony, took the opportunity to attack Qi. Duke Jing of Qi was no match, and was forced to ally with Jin. With this, Chu's plan to unite with Qi to oppose Jin was declared a failure. In 575 BC, the Jin army crossed the Yellow River to attack Chu. In the Battle of Yanling, they captured a Chu prince, and shot one of King Gong of Chu's eyes blind. After this battle, Chu's contention for the Central Plains went into decline. History calls this Duke Dao of Jin restores hegemony. After Duke Dao of Jin died of illness, Qi openly betrayed the Central Plains alliance, and befriended Chu again through envoys. The Spring and Autumn Hegemony War shifted from the Jin-Chu War to the Wu-Chu Hegemony War. In 515 BC, Helu sent Chuan Zhu at a banquet, hiding a sword inside a fish, to assassinate King Liao of Wu while serving the dish. History calls this Xuan Zhu assassins King Liao. After Helu became the new king of Wu, he recruited talents widely, making the former Chu minister Wu Zixu his chancellor and the Qi native Sun Wu his general. He worked hard to govern, and Wu became increasingly prosperous. To compete with Chu for hegemony, Wu first had to remove the threat from its rear. Therefore, the Wu-Yu War, lasting more than 20 years, officially began. In 506 BC, King Helu of Wu personally took command, with Sun Wu and Wu Zixu as generals, tilting the whole country's 30,000 land and water forces to attack Chu. They wiped out the 200,000-strong main force of Chu in one blow, capturing the Chu capital Ying. Later, King Helu's son Fuchai defeated the Chu army again, forcing Chu to move its capital for self-preservation. Since then, Wu's prestige shook Huaxia. Therefore, some people believe King Helu of Wu should be ranked among the five hegemons. But Helu later died of illness in a war against Yue, after having his toe chopped off. After King Fuchai of Wu succeeded, he prepared for war day and night. He dispatched all elite troops and defeated the Yue army at Fujiao, occupying the Yue capital Kuaiji. Finally, King Goujian of Yue offered to become a servant in Wu in exchange for Wu's withdrawal. This led to the story of sleeping on brushwood and tasting gall. Later, after King Goujian of Yue returned to Yue, taking advantage of the time when King Fuchai of Wu led troops north to attend the Huan of Qi alliance meeting, leaving the country empty, he attacked Wu, killing the crown prince of Wu. He then defeated the Wu army again in the Battle of Lize. Wu never recovered from this. King Goujian of Yue became the last hegemon of the spring and autumn period. In 476 BC, King Yuan of Zhao succeeded to the throne. The history of Eastern Zhao entered the Warring States period.